Hello guys, so we are back here and we are going to continue with the second video where we will learn some really fun stuff like number one, how to add text boxes where the users can enter values, labels where the values can be displayed, and some basic math functions. Okay, now all these words might sound really confusing to you, but trust me, once you start coding and once you start understanding, it is going to be super easy and super fun. So if you remember last time in the previous video, I made this project called calculator, so where we just made two screens and we just added one button, and there was just one simple code: if the button is clicked, go to screen 2, right? And when on screen 2, if the button is clicked, go to screen 1. That's it, as simple as that. Now today we are going to, as I said, we are going to start using some math functions, some text boxes. It's going to be fun. You get an idea. It's very similar to like a very basic calculator. Okay, so let's do it. What I want to do next is, because I don't really want to start a new project, I'm going to just add few things here. So I'm going to add a text box first. Now this is very important. You will understand what is the difference between a text box and a label very soon, and it's very important to understand that. Okay, so this is a text box I added from here, right? Again, like uh, any other tool, you can always change the properties, change the font color, change the size of the text box, change the background color, literally any decoration that you want to do. Okay, but for now I'm going to rename this as txt, because you remember I told you that we should try to rename our components, especially when we are going to use them in our codes. So I'm going to call it as, since it is a text box, I'm going to call it as txt. And since it's a to take the value from the user, maybe I call it as val1. Okay, there. I will add another text box, so there you go. And similarly I will call it as txt val2. You see, I'm just using the camel hump method, so V is capital and it's easy to read. There you go. Now these two boxes will, what I'm trying to do is, these two boxes will take values from the user, and the result of the calculation will be displayed in a label. So I'm just trying to make add function, very basic. So value 1 plus value 2 and the response, like the answer. Okay, now always remember, to take values from the user when they're using the app, we use text box. To display the results or display the value, you don't use text box, you use label. So label allows you to display any text in your application. It can be headings, subheadings, title, story, paragraph, or even responses like I'm doing today. So I'm just dragging and dropping this label user interface tool from here. And for now, I'm going to just rename this as LBL, label, you get it, and answer. Okay, again, since the label is here, it has this by default value text for label 1. I don't want that. I want it to be empty. So I'll just go here, and in the properties panel I will remove the text. Okay, it is not seen, but the label is here. You get it, the green tiny dot. Or yeah, for now this is good. Let's add a button. So a button here, and I'm going to rename this as btn add. So btn add. Okay, I'm sure you got the idea. Basically, when I click on this button, this mini calculator will add values from both the text boxes and give the result in the label. Okay, so I need to change this to add in the properties panel. Again, you remember, you can change the appearance of your button by changing the colors. You can change, like, you can do whatever you want. You can make them as pretty as you want. I like them rounded. There you go, right? Later I will teach you how to also add pictures to your buttons to make them more attractive, but for now let's stick to this. Now what is important here is the code, obviously, because this won't work without the code. So please understand the logic. What we are trying to do is, when the app loads, the user will be allowed to enter one value here, another value here, and then when I click on add, the response to that, the result of that addition will come here in my label. Okay, I have not really used any arrangement, any layout right now, because I just want you to understand the code first, and then I'll explain you how to make it look more organized. So let's go and code in the blocks area. This is your blocks area. I'm just going to keep this in one corner. I like my code organized. Now, what is the logic here? The logic is, when btn add is clicked, then the value of text box 1 and the value of text box 2 should be added mathematically, because it's math function. So we're going to use some math function, and the response should be shown in this label. Okay, just remember that with the logic, basic logic. So btn add, so when btn add dot click, okay, there, what do I want to do? I want to use math function, and which is addition. Right, but if you see this, it will not go here, because when you look at the pieces, you'll understand this is not supposed to be going here. Why? Because this will add the values of text boxes. I'll show you. See, value from text box 1. So when you want to take the value from something, you can't use these, you have to use the green ones here. Not background color, we're going to use the value or the text from there. So text means whatever number the user has added. Same thing I'm doing for 2, and then text. Now what does this do? This will take the text from both the text boxes and add them. That's fine, I understood that. How do I show this in my label, right? So I want to say that when btn this clicked, then set the label. So I'm taking any set. See, set is to display something, right? Set label answers dot text as this. You see the red cross which was coming here before, it disappeared, which means the red cross basically means something is wrong, some code is not right. But if you do this, there, it works, right? So now logically, just look at this. I have used a math function, a very basic math function, addition. I have taken value from my text box 1, value from text box 2. I have added them, and I'm displaying them in my label as a text. When am I doing this? I'm doing this when btn add dot click. It's very simple. Okay, now we will go and see how this actually works. So for this I will be using my phone. As I told you in my previous video, I'm using my phone to check the code, right? So let's go and do that. Connect. If you have emulator, use emulator. I do not have it, so I'm going to use AI companion. So AI companion, and this is my QR code. Let me scan it on my phone. So here I am. This is my MIT companion, and I'm going to scan the QR code from my website, MIT App Inventor. There you go. App is opened here. See, these are my text boxes. I can add the values that I want. Let's say I'm adding 10 plus 12, and then I click on add, and then it shows the response, right? Something as simple as that. I can change the value just to test. There you go. So it's a very simple application that we have created. Of course, it's not really very organized, but it does really work. How to use a basic math addition function with the event button dot click and label and text boxes. Guys, it's very important to understand the difference between text box and label. And remember, you're using the values from the text and not any other thing, like you're not using background color, font size and all that. So make sure you change this to text. Okay, set is to display something or to set something, as the name says, and these light green ones are usually to get or take the values from the text boxes, the light greens ones. Okay, now um, now for this video, I think this is what I'm going to end with, but in the next video we will continue with our calculator, and I will first show you how to organize this screen and make sure the text boxes are aligned properly, and we can add more functions like subtraction, multiplication, and division. In fact, you can do it and on your side and see if you are able to use some of the math codes, right? So see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.